Welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Michael Willer. I am a chubby chaser, and today I am a super sore soccer boy.
Oh my!
I had a soccer tournament this morning. Actually, I just got back. I'm sore. I had a great time. It's a lot of fun, and I'm ready to have the chillest Sunday ever.
Yay!
Hey, my name's Don Marshall. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I am the master of the oat flour. I have been practicing making my own oat flour and trying to bake bread and cake with it, and some of my early creations are disastrous but delicious. So
they're just oatful.
Oh boy,
Dan.
Oh boy.
Hi, I'm Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser, and I am feeling a little stressed. I have a lot of things to do in preparation for a lot of fun things. I'm jetting off to Spain in a couple of weeks, and so it's one of those things where I got to get stuff done.
Are you a bustling boy?
I just want to know how you're going to bring back the paella for me.
In a Ziploc bag.
How that's going to go.
Yes, I'll bring it back in a bag. Just a Ziploc bag of paella.
I'm Trevor Keyson, and I'm a little woozy boy. Some strange man bit me when I was coming into the podcast studio to record, and it's fine. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm just going to cover it up and get real sweaty over the course of the movie, and everything's fine.
There's always one.
Well, welcome back to the last show of the season before we take our break in November. It's very exciting. We're going to be talking about Shaun of the Dead. So if you haven't watched it, or if you want to watch it before we get to that part of the episode, pause here.
It's a great movie. You'll like it.
And we're back. But first, we want to say thank you to the patrons on Patreon who support us, give us money to help pay our wonderful editor and keep the show going and going. We love you and we love your support. We also want to shout out to Bearskin, one of our affiliates. You can save 15% off your order of their underwear, shorts, other garments with promo code BigFatGayPod. You can use our link to Big Fig mattresses on our website to give us a kickback, and they have all kinds of discounts going usually. I think they had Labor Day recently. They probably are going to do a Black Friday sale at some point. So if you need a mattress, it's coming up. You can also, if you want to, I feel like we don't say this every time, but the Discord and the newsletter are free.
Yeah.
They're opt-in. You don't have to be a patron to get those features. The newsletter is great if you just want kind of a once-in-a-while update on things that we've talked about, maybe like reminders to watch Shaun of the Dead or other things like that, and recaps of episodes. And the Discord, we have all kinds of cool discussions with other people in the community. It's a really positive vibes kind of place. In fact, later, right after this, one of our members of the Discord has organized a Jackbox game night that we're all going to jump on and play some Jackbox games. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's a good place to hang out. It's good vibes. And last but not least, I said it earlier, but November is going to be our hiatus. We will be back on December 3rd with the next episode after this one. And with that, let's get to some pop culture.
Zombie penguins.
Blah, 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 blah. Good luck sinking that, David. Oh, boy.
Ay.
Well, we're marching forward, shambling like the undead. And so this is from NewJersey.com or NJ.com, talking about Tina Romero's new movie. Tina Romero, daughter of legendary George Romero.
Yeah.
Queens of the Dead, which features many, fet features from previous episodes, including Jaquel Spivey from Mean Girls, also Nina West, Margaret Cho. And so this article is interviewing Tina Romero about creating this movie about drag queens fighting zombies. Fighting drag queen zombies.
Fighting drag queen zombies. That's right.
I love the premise for this. It's so genius.
Yes.
It's also fantastic. Like the setup, in case you don't know who George Romero is, he was a famous director. He died a few years back, but he made some legendary zombie movies like a good 50, 60 years ago.
Night of the Living Dead. He's the father of the zombie genre.
Yeah. And so his daughter, Tina, who is gay, set out to make her own zombie movie with just like steeped in queer culture, drag queens, and this massive queer cast. And so I was reading this article, and at the top I was like, okay, all right, Latino zombies. Okay, cool. And then like as it keeps going, and she's like talking about, we have all these commentaries we want to make. We want to make sure that like, we're hitting these subjects. And I was like, yes, go. And I'm like so excited to watch this movie. It's in theaters now.
Yeah,
it is.
So if you don't have any, spooky plans for Halloween, there's nothing scarier than going to the theater now. I'm very excited. I love that there's like a lot of fat actors in the movie. And like, also there's like kind of the, stocky bear bartender. And I love seeing Jaquel Spivey come back in such a fun project.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there hasn't really, maybe there's been something else with drag queens and zombies, but it seems like an unlikely pairing.
Yeah, I think it's perhaps been done on a much smaller level, smaller scale maybe. This is getting like mainstream attention and release, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I just love that, NewJersey.com, NJ.com took it upon themselves to highlight this film because although it takes place in a Brooklyn like dance party, they did all the filming in New Jersey.
It is interesting to me that the zombie genre is often used as sort of a metaphor for the individual fighting against being consumed by a majority, right? So in a world where gay people are trying to be pressed into straight molds, like I've always been surprised there hasn't been more gay zombie content.
Yeah.
Well, and I also enjoy the trope. This is given away by the article, so I don't think it's giving away anything to audience members, but the idea that phones are turning people into zombies. No, that's not the premise, but it's just that some of these zombies are still on their phones.
Yeah. Literally, your mind has turned into an instinctive husk, and yet you are still using your phone. And that they can use that, like she implies that it's a way to get the upper hand on the zombie enemies because they get distracted.
Dude, in one of the Return of the Living Dead movies, the zombies evolve to the point where they take down an ambulance crew, and one of them gets on the radio and says, "Send more help."
Send more help.
I love the idea of zombies on cell phones, like using DoorDash to like summon more victims to the area.
Or Grindr. So check out Queens of the Damned. It is not available on streaming yet. You have to go to the theater, like I said. But the tales of horror continue. Don, summon the eagle.
Fat Watch 2025.
So you might remember Josh Pangborn. Speaking of zombies, Josh Pangborn is the creator of Sidekick Productions and a whole bunch of horror movie things, including The Brooklyn Butcher and Skeleton Crew, and Skeleton Crew now has a spinoff. But Josh has been cast in a show called The Chair Company.
An HBO show, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, just wonderful. He is a recurring character. Hopefully he will recur because sometimes they take things out in editing. But he sort of says this in his interview with Bear World magazine.
Yeah.
So he's gone from this indie hustle to HBO, and he does this wonderful interview talking about The Chair.
The show is a Tim Robinson series that anyone who knows him from SNL probably already loves him. He's hilarious and weird, and all of his stuff is just interesting. And he's starring in this show that is hard to describe. It takes place in an office primarily, and that's where Josh Pangborn's character is because they're all co-workers. The trailer doesn't really tell you anything. It's just Tim Robinson's characters. Oh no, it's fantastic. That's what a trailer should do.
I had so many more questions after watching the trailer than before.
Yeah, no, I want to see it. I want to see it. It's sort of like The Office meets, I don't know, The Bourne Identity.
What's funny is all of the interviews that I've seen behind on it are trying to push like, this is not The Office. We swear it is not The Office.
No, it clearly isn't.
I got the Big Short vibes.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. Yeah.
It's a movie with Christian Bale. It's a huge cast, and they were talking about the housing market bubble. Anyway.
But regardless of the show, I want to encourage people to go read this. If you're interested in what it's like working as an actor of size in the industry, he goes into some of that. One of the things he talks about is a little side trip into the wardrobe department.
Yes.
Right. I've worked on 3 different syndicated or network shows when I was still acting. In all 3 of them, I was forced to wear my own clothes because the wardrobe department didn't bother to get anything for me.
Which Josh actually says, that's what I'm used to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So listening to him talk about his experience of going in, he immediately apologizes to the wardrobe department.
He says, as I tried on clothes and they discussed what alterations they would need to make, my first instinct was to apologize for the extra work they'd have to do because of my body. It was a reflex, one born out of past experiences. These wonderful people shut me down immediately. They insisted it was their job to make me comfortable in the clothing they provided me. And they did not need to hear me apologize for my body because there was nothing to apologize for.
Which is phenomenal.
And that was not my experience 20 years ago. And I can't tell you how happy it was.
That is atypical.
It was one of those things where I'm simultaneously happy that it's changed, happy that he's having a positive experience, and enraged that I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I think all fat men will appreciate this quote. So he gives an example of how he was accommodated. And he says, for instance, I asked if we could switch from belts to suspenders for comfort reasons. He says, I typically wear dress pants at my natural waist and especially not with a belt because, he said they not only said yes, they went the extra step of sewing elastic into the pants themselves so I could be more comfortable.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine someone taking that extra step for me. It's just, oh my God, it blows my mind. It's wonderful.
And he really acknowledges the producers and HBO for being just so wonderful.
Yeah.
And this might be a little inside baseball, but I still think it's interesting that the experience for an actor on a set, especially if you're not like the starring actor, you're there doing nothing most of the time until suddenly you need to be doing everything perfectly. And it can be kind of stressful, particularly, again, like if you're not, and I guess even if you are the lead actor, there's a lot of pressure to like get it right and to not waste time or money. So the experience of going through wardrobe, through hair and makeup, interacting with those people is kind of like actor therapy. It's sort of the calming, meditative presence leading up to the insanity of being on set and like actually, having cameras rolling. And I think for fat actors who have, like Don was saying, who haven't been able to appreciate that part of the process, it's that much harder, not just to like be on set and to be there without being slimed, but truly just to do the job the way that everyone else gets to.
Yeah. I remember I was wearing my own leather jacket for when I was on a show, and it was the most expensive article of clothing I had. And then I found out they were blowing up a door and dropping it on me with pyrotechnic effects. And I'm like,
oh no. God, why wouldn't they tell you that?
Because then he wouldn't bring his own jacket.
Yeah,
but you can get a shitty, like,
I mean, I got a bump. It almost would have covered the cost of the jacket.
Josh he's been in this space for a long time, being a fat actor, a fat producer. And he says in the interview, it's important to me that bigger bodied characters are played by bigger bodied performers, like no fat suits, please.
Yeah.
But, and that's, we've been saying that for a while, but I think this is a really great gem that he dropped. But just as important is casting bigger bodied performers in roles that can be played by someone of any size.
Yes, 100%. I felt that way about race up until now. We finally, you can cast a Black or Asian person in a role that doesn't specifically speak Chinese.
Or have like a broken English accent or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that is finally happening, but I haven't seen much of that for fat actors yet. It's still a fat body. It can only be assigned to a fat coded character.
It's coming. It's coming.
We're getting there. Like there are certain, like we keep talking about these people and that's why we talk about them. But like, I feel like we're making room. We're making waves.
I feel like we're starting to see that in kind of genre fiction, sci-fi, like Twisted Metal and Fallout. The second season. Like I think Fallout, especially just because it's like there are fat people in a post-apocalyptic world, which like you love to see it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
If you want to see more of Josh, he and his company just dropped their first Blu-ray, their first physical media, The Brooklyn Butcher. He is starting production on their 6th season of Skeleton Crew. The first spin-off of Skeleton Crew is coming out called Skeleton Crew, The Edward Chronicles. They're in season 2 of his mockumentary, The Art of Blowing It. That'll be out later this year. And they're preparing to release the first feature film, A Taste of Youth.
The Brooklyn Butcher is also available to rent and purchase on Amazon Prime Video.
And he's currently in post-production on The Contract, which is, as he puts it, the kinkiest, queerest film he's ever made.
Which is saying something.
Yeah. And they hired a fantastically talented DP, which I was going through the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, you see it. It's very cool to see like people's evolutions over time. Cause like we've known about Josh and his crew for a long, long time. And it's awesome to see like the success, but also just like, yeah, you know, he's in his element.
Yeah.
Busy.
So with that said, shall we move on to our movie of the day?
Yes, let's do.
Yay.
To celebrate Halloween, our movie of the week is Shaun of the Dead from 2004.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't recall, it is stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Sort of, I would hold them up as sort of one of the modern like Abbott and Costello. Like,
one of the very few comedy duos that you can point to, like modern comedy duos.
I mean, they both have very successful individual careers apart from each other. They're not married to each other, but they're wonderful together, and they came as a set when they first showed up. So
also Lucy Davis from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and who played Etta Candy in Wonder Woman is in this in one of her very early roles. I think like post British Office.
Yeah, I think she's fabulous in this too. I think she turns in a hell of a performance. So.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
But here's a quick summary from the IMDb. Shaun is a 30-something loser with a dull, easy existence. When he's not working at the electronics store, he lives with his best friend, Ed, played by Nick Frost, in a small flat on the outskirts of London. The only unpredictable element in his life is his girlfriend, Liz, who wishes desperately for Shaun to grow up and be a man. When the town is inexplicably overrun with zombies, Shaun must rise to the occasion and protect both Liz and his mother. Which is an accurate description.
Yeah.
But it leaves out a lot.
Yeah.
One of the most wonderful things about this movie, though, is not the plot and is not the zombies. And I say that as someone who genuinely loves zombies. To me, the heart of this movie is the relationship between Simon Pegg's Shaun and Nick Frost's Ed, which is magic.
It is very much a love story, and the love story is not between. It's a bromance. If we're gonna assume that they're straight.
I'll be honest, it was interesting rewatching this now after having done the Big Fat Gay podcast, and I'm watching it with a different lens than I did then.
I have a completely different take on this movie now. Poor Dan. Dan was so brave. This was not a Dan movie. I think kind of The Ritz was not for Michael.
Okay.
I feel like Dan powered through this.
I loathe this movie and every frame of it.
Well, it's okay to be wrong sometimes.
But do go on.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about love first, and then we'll dip into maybe some of its flaws and just address those.
There are no flaws.
I have to say, I don't know the last time I watched this. It is very solid. It's just like a perfect little piece of pie. You're just taking little bites and like, ooh, this is just, it's delightful.
It's got great pacing. Like the story unveils itself very nicely. The characters open up and are revealed through the movie rather than just sort of existing as who they are from the start. Like, I love this movie.
One thing that just as far as like our podcast is concerned in that particular angle. So like Nick Frost is a fat actor. He plays Ed, the best friend of Shaun. So there's this dynamic that, you know, Ed is the fuck up who's holding Shaun back. That's the central tension.
And they cast a fat character. So if you didn't figure that out, you know.
Well, I don't think that's it, actually.
Oh, come on.
I personally would say that you know that because everyone around Shaun keeps telling him that. But if you remove the element of everyone telling him how bad Shaun is for him, I couldn't keep noticing over and over. Whenever Shaun feels bad, Ed is the only one who's there and steps up and tries to improve things for him.
He does do that. And also, there isn't a single fat joke in the movie.
Yes.
This is 2004.
No, there isn't. He is the fat joke.
No, I agree that it's no fat jokes. And I was surprised that even when one of the first zombies they encounter, very tall, very fat.
Big guy.
And that there is not a fat joke there. Because I was kind of like, oh, is that going to come? And to counter Dan's thing, I like that Ed is a fat character who is a loser.
Yeah.
The way it's different from other kind of like, oh, well, we cast a fat actor, so you know they're a loser. You could swap a thin character into the role, and because they don't do any like bumbling, he's tripping over, you know, his bags of burgers or something. Like it's very much he is a loser, but like not because he's fat.
There's one eating reference. He asks for a Cornetto. As a hangover cure.
A kind of ice cream.
And I think they make some references to him liking the snacks at the Winchester, which he's not shown eating. He's shown sharing with Shaun, who really likes them.
And so does Shaun.
Yeah.
In fact, later in the movie, Shaun is the one who gets the snacks and is offering them to people. So I don't buy that. Like, there's nothing in the movie that explicitly makes it about, oh, he's fat, therefore he's bad. Granted, this is like going outside the movie, but you can watch the rest of the Cornetto trilogy and there clearly is no anti-fat bias.
Yeah.
They have him doing stunts in the other two movies. He's an action hero in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, to be clear, the reason I despise this movie is not because of the fat trope. Well, he's the biggest loser and he's the biggest loser. Let me put it this way. I find Nick Frost very attractive, but I couldn't watch him because his character is so awful. And I know that's probably the point.
Yeah.
Is it for other people? Sure, I guess it's a cult classic.
I feel like if you are maybe someone who's like, I need the newsletter for the podcast, I feel like it's like definitely kind of like a generational thing. I think there will also be some Gen Z people who might not like it, but I feel like I am not shocked that Dan did not like it. I was a little worried about it. I'm like, he might like it, but this is the response I was expecting.
It's like being locked at a party where you don't have a way home with terrible people and you're really rooting for the zombies. Rooting for the zombies so bad.
So there are some things I wanted to point out that I saw differently this time than the first time I watched it. In regards to Nick Frost's character, Ed, the first time I watched it, I accepted it as a buddy comedy. That's really where I lived. He's the goofy friend, right? He is Shaun's fun side. So in that interpretation of it, I was looking at him. Okay, this is the writer side of me. Ed becomes Shaun's childish side. He's his immaturity, which is fun, and charming. And so if you accept that as a given, the story becomes about letting go of your childish side and embracing your adult side, which is a connection to Liz, the female connection. That relationship, however, that's where it breaks for me, because I find nothing about the Liz relationship desirable. I find her repulsive.
Interesting.
I don't think she likes Shaun. She's mean to him until he saves her life. And then she's kind of nice. And then at the end of the movie, she's on the couch sharing a morning with him that would have been the same morning he would have had with Ed.
Yeah.
If Ed had survived the movie.
Ed did survive the movie.
He's not portrayed as being a massively different person.
Don, we agree 100%, except just have to reverse the roles.
Yeah, I don't like Liz in this movie. So when I started noticing that, I started thinking in terms a little differently. Ed is the partner where everyone around Shaun is telling him, why are you with him? But I don't, you could do better. Like, why him? You should be with the woman because she's a woman. That's really the reason. There's nothing held up about her to make her a valuable partner other than she's attractive and female, right? That's it. And if you accept that and you start looking at the relationship between Ed and Shaun loves Ed. He doesn't understand why, but he loves him completely. And all of their interactions underscore that. So it's a love that the rest of the world is rejecting that defines the two of them. So that was just something I was kind of living in watching this movie, where this bond of affection that is being dismissed by every other character in the movie is the core emotional heartbeat of the movie. At the end of the movie, he ends up with Ed's body and he's happy with it.
They imply that there is still something left in the zombie form because Ed gets turned into a zombie, spoilers, but he's still playing video games. Like and Shaun's, stepdad who gets zombified still turns off the punk music, in the car, even though it's like they kind of imply that they're a zombie, but there's like something still going on. I appreciate that the girlfriend Liz is written such that she is trying to change Shaun, which I think everyone kind of knows, like in a relationship context, is not great.
And she can't, so she leaves him.
Yeah, and she leaves him. And then it becomes a question of, well, does Shaun want to change? And then it turns out he does, but he doesn't want to just have to leave Ed behind either. And so there's this push-pull. It's very like id, ego, superego. Like Ed fully is a fuck up. I also find his behavior really difficult to tolerate in that movie. It didn't ruin the movie for me, but he's really hard to be around. And I think Don's right. He does actually care about Shaun, even though he has a really selfish way of showing that. He only does it when it's convenient for him, except at the very end of the movie when he sacrifices himself. Granted, he had already been bitten, so it was kind of like, I don't know, a somewhat empty sacrifice. But, it still was was part of it. I think that Liz is not quite as reprehensible, for me at least, because, Shaun does take a stand and try to make things better. He's not good at it. He does screw up most of the things he tries to do, but Liz sticks with him and she defends him to everyone else who's shitting all over Shaun, particularly fucking David, who's just, if you want to talk about a shitty character in the movie, it's David.
David.
But you know what's funny though? I love this. This is so like the irony of this. He's right at almost every turn, but because of his personality, he is so horrible about how he goes about being right that he just makes it all wrong.
Which I hate to say it, but like in zombie movies, that's a very specific character that's always there. He's the asshole that gets everyone killed despite being right most of the time. It's a trope.
So there was something about this that rewatching it, I really locked in on, and I think probably like approaching it for the podcast probably did this, but the whole movie and the dynamic between Shaun and Ed, and I mean, I guess Liz too, and just kind of everyone, it is so the closeted chaser, like the straight closeted chaser.
Meaning Shaun?
I mean, not Shaun. I just mean like kind of the dynamic that Shaun really just wanting to be with Ed, like the ending being he has Ed in a shack so he can go have his time with Ed, but still be in this, like he can have it all. He can be with Liz and, grow up and leave that side of him behind, but literally keep it in a shack.
Yeah.
And go and anytime and be with Ed. And it's like, I feel like I've known chasers like this where they're like, I can do it.
I'll just hide it in a shack.
Yeah. I just need to compartmentalize this.
Yeah.
But it's really just when he's with Ed, he's the most himself. And really I feel like the biggest emotional beat of the movie is him mourning the loss of Ed. Like he has that a really emotional moment with his, like, oh, he is my dad. Like really, we finally connected and now he's gone.
Yeah.
But it's when he loses Ed, it's even bigger than that.
I understand that. Yeah. I think one of the strengths of Shaun of the Dead are those emotional beats. When he loses his mom, when he loses his stepfather, when he loses Ed, the comedy all of a sudden contracts to very real emotional cores, which makes the entire movie just so much better.
I got to say, even I agree with that. Like I enjoyed those points the most.
Yeah.
I think also I just loved the little kind of, social commentary stuff where it's like from the very start, they're using a lot of imagery of just showing society as zombies, but also like the extras when he's on the bus, like when you're like waiting for like, okay, when is the zombie outbreak gonna happen? It's like, are they just British or it's like, are they zombies? Like there's so many things you can't really tell. Like, okay, because there's definitely beats where it's like, okay, this is a zombie thing that Shaun is observing and kind of like trying to piece together like, oh, this is a bit odd. But then there's just like the people on the bus where it's like they're just like pale British people asleep on the bus that look like
zombie
zombies.
or British.
I just really love that. That was something I had kind of forgotten.
I like that all the extras that played just background for the first half of the movie got to come back for the second half to be zombies and like do all the makeup. Like that's just such a great thing when you're bringing extras in that are essentially moving props to give them that extra thing to do. That would be really fun.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a little extra secret about the people who play the zombies in Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is actually a remake of episode 3 of Spaced, the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost TV show that preceded this.
Oh.
They basically got the idea from it and then ran with it and made a movie. The Spaced TV show, although we don't know, a lot of us don't know it over here in the US, was huge in the UK. The majority of the zombies in Shaun of the Dead were cast from a call put out to all the fans of Spaced.
Oh.
So they're not mostly actors. They're mostly fans who love the work these people have done in the past.
Oh, that's great.
And showed up to do this stuff. And so as their benefit, they got to have a live scene and a dead scene. Almost all of them got to come back as zombies.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool.
I just saw, so there's a point where Shaun runs into a friend of his, Yvonne.
Oh, I love that.
There's a couple points where he runs into her. And then there's a point where it's like her zombie survival group where it's all the doppelgangers of Shaun's group. But I'm looking at this.
Did you recognize them?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I mean, Martin Freeman.
Well, I mean, they're 20 years out of time.
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman I recognized, but I didn't recognize Matt Lucas as Cousin Tom, who is the doppelganger for Ed.
All 5 of the people there are actually fairly well-known performers.
Yeah. And I wanted to join that party. I'm like, can I go with them, please? No.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to. Like,
I'm
they're the ones
stuck
with their
with
shit
these
together.
people for another hour.
That's why it's a comedy and not a drama.
Yeah.
That's why it's insufferable.
No, I mean, the whole point of the movie is it takes the end of the world for this guy to get his shit together.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke. Like, he is not as insufferable as Ed is, but he drops the ball at every opportunity. He pretends to have more authority than he does, but he actually won't take a stand for anything. He can't even afford to pay for the things he gets at the shop.
He can't even keep the most simple promise.
Yeah.
She's not wrong that he needs to get his shit together.
No, I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, like, it's not great to predicate a relationship on that, but she leaves him, and that's because she's not going to try and change him.
Good for her. Yeah.
So I think that the arc is solid and earned. You know, he has to lose basically everything to get to the end of that and to be a better person.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
I just want to throw one quick mini spotlight too on the Bill Nye character arc, the stepfather.
Oh yeah.
I think his relationship through the first part of the movie and then the way it changes in his death scene actually sums up the entire story arc of Shaun of the Dead. When Shaun is relating to his stepfather early in the movie, he's resenting a guy who's not his dad.
Yeah.
A guy who's with his mom and is forcing a relationship on him and is trying to tell him how his relationship with his mom should be. And it's petulant and childish. And all of his assumptions about his relationship are what I picture a young stepchild imposing on the new stepfather in their home. He's forcing me and trying to control me, and you're not my dad. But then the final moment where Bill Nye is confessing to him, like, this is what I really felt about you. And Simon Pegg hears him and reacts to him, believes him, and grows from that moment and levels up.
Because the stepfather admits, yes, I did force and control you, and I'm sorry about that.
But he but he also confesses the reasons behind it that Simon never understood.
But he hears him because he gets that, oh yeah, I was awful to you, but I was trying my best.
Yeah. But that's an adult perspective. That is a more grown-up perspective than the petulant child who can't see beyond his own, I don't want to go to bed right now, you're not my dad.
Shaun needs to understand that he's wrong, that his assumptions about his stepdad were wrong, and that therefore he needs to start questioning his assumptions about everything.
Yeah.
And that this man, his dying words were, I loved you and I wasn't trying to replace your dad. I was just doing my best to be your role model.
And while he doesn't say I'm sorry, he's saying I'm sorry too. So if you haven't had the chance to see Shaun of the Dead yet, I got to say, like, 3 out of 4 agree. We do like the movie. As just a funny side note, if you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead before, you may be surprised how many references to it pop up in genre culture of every type all over the place. It's one of the most heavily referenced movies of its genre. And I think in the UK, it was voted the 2nd favorite film of all time behind Shawshank Redemption.
Wow.
It's got some penetration.
That's an interesting pairing.
It far exceeds the moniker cult classic. It is just a modern classic.
It's a mainstream classic, I would say. But horror itself is kind of culty, so I can understand that.
I think originally it was a cult classic, and it has since grown quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, when it came out, the concept of a horror comedy was still kind of new. Like, I mean, not new, but like to this level, it was a newer genre. So
a horror movie that wasn't scary.
Yeah.
Like, or a horror backdrop that it just wasn't scary. It was just truly just a comedy with zombies.
But it also wasn't just Abbott and Costello versus Frankenstein, right? Like, there was horror. There was actual scary moments and beats in there too. So
if you have Peacock, you can watch it there. You can rent it. Maybe your local library has it.
Trevor, do we have a tip for the day?
We do. Go see Queens of the Dead. Watch Shaun of the Dead. Watch The Brooklyn Butcher. Have a little what's a
triptych,
a triple feature. A triple dipper, if you will.
This comes out the day before Halloween. There's no better time.
Yeah.
All right. So for our bit today, I thought I'd bring a few little questions about Shaun of the Dead. See what you guys have noticed, what you missed, what you caught.
So I should close the IMDb.
You actually should.
Okay.
All right. After the success of Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright considered a sequel that would replace zombies with another monster, though they ultimately decided against it. Still, there were some pitches and early sketches of the project, and a fully realized mocked-up poster for the shelved project appeared in the 2018 movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What was the title of this proposed sequel?
Oh, I remember this.
1. Shaun of the Planet of the Apes. 2. Twilight Saga, Breaking Shaun Part 1.
I hope that's not it.
3. From Dusk Till Shaun. Or 4. A Nightmare Shaun, Elm Street.
I hope it's 3. It's the best pun.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to do zombies first, then you'll probably do vampires second. So yeah, I'll go From Dusk Till Shaun.
All right. All 3 of you have gone from Till Dusk Till Shaun, and all 3 of you are correct.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, worth checking out that poster in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, if you haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn, go watch the movie. It's very good.
Now, there's a big controversy in the modern age of zombie movies. Do zombies shamble, or do they sprint after your ass?
Oh, yeah.
Right? In Shaun of the Dead, they went with the shambling type. When asked why, what reason did Simon Pegg give for using slow zombies in Shaun of the Dead? 1, because they didn't have the budget for cameras that they could run with. 2, budget wouldn't allow the insurance necessary to have crowds of running zombies. 3, because Simon Pegg didn't want to have to run all the time while shooting the movie. Or 4, because death is not an energy drink.
I'm going to go with number 3 because, yeah, he didn't want to run all the time.
I thought it was, none of the above, that it was the allegory of there are people who are zombies and their being zombies doesn't really affect their daily life much. I think it's because Simon Pegg didn't want to have to run all that time.
All right, we got 2 for number 3.
I feel like I have heard that it was a function of they couldn't afford the insurance to cover like the stunts that would be involved in having a bunch of sprinting extras and makeup and everything.
And logistically, you might be right, but the reason that Simon Pegg gave was because death is not an energy drink. Now, when Shaun of the Dead came out in the UK, it did really well. As I mentioned, it's the second favorite movie in the UK behind Shawshank Redemption. However, when it was released in the UK, its release date was delayed for 2 weeks. Why? 1, it was delayed due to the release of a conflicting movie. 2, a zombie-related death made the release seem in poor taste. 3, an accident in the film reel printing where 2 minutes were missing from the film required a total recall of all prints.
Oh, wow.
Or 4, the producers of Shaun of the Dead were being sued by George Romero for copyright infringement.
That wouldn't be a 2-week turnaround. I think it's a zombie-related death made it in poor taste.
I think 2 minutes of the reel was missing.
What was the first one?
The first one was it was delayed due to the release of a conflicting movie.
I'm going to go with that just to be different, the first one.
And this is why we should always make Trevor pick last. The correct answer is, in fact, it was delayed due to the release of Dawn of the Dead in 2004. The remake of the movie, the Schneider cut, was released in 2004 at the same time as Shaun of the Dead.
Wow.
So they had to delay a little bit to avoid confusion.
Imagine what a kinder, gentler world it would have been that delaying a movie 2 weeks would be enough to prevent that overlap.
As I mentioned before, the extras were kind of put together a little bit piecemeal off of fans of the spaced TV show that Simon Pegg made beforehand. Due to budget constraints, remembering that Shaun of the Dead was shot for $4 million, the non-credited extras didn't receive a normal paycheck. How were the extras in Shaun of the Dead compensated?
Meat pies.
1, they were each given $1. 2, they were allowed to keep their clothes and latex prosthetics as souvenirs. 3, hot meals and warm beer for zombies on set. Or 4, all the extras were invited to a massive Halloween gala.
Ooh. you?
I'm going with food and beer.
If I knew, how many more questions do we have?
I think they were.
You have a bonus question after this one.
I think they were given $1.
I'm going to go that this is maybe a Don trick and it's all of them. They were given $1, hot beer, and a Halloween gala.
Nice. And what was yours, Dan?
Food and beer.
Okay. And this is why I tell you guys, we should always make Michael pick last because he's always right. They were all given $1 each. There's a couple reasons why this might be the case. Long story short, the reason why this is probably because that is the amount that the zombies were paid for in Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, the original George Romero movies that were made.
Right.
So a little homage there.
Yeah, it's because you're making an indie movie and you got the fans of Spaced who are happy to be there anyway. You have to pay them something. So
yeah.
And it's not like $10 was going to make them happier. It's like,
right. It's symbolic. It's a symbolic thing. So I have one bonus question. I just think this was a fun little trivia fact. Only one member of the cast or crew of Shaun of the Dead has received an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, making them a knight or a dame. Can you guess who involved with this movie received this honor?
I'm going to go Bill Nye.
Bill Nye. Okay, the stepfather, for those of you who don't recognize the actor. Right
that's the most logical for me too.
Okay.
That was also my guess.
So while Bill Nye is probably one of the more famous people in the cast, the only person in the cast who have been so elevated by British royalty is the woman who played the mother Barbara, Dame Penelope Wilton.
Is she also in Doctor Who? Is she the Harriet Jones?
Harriet Jones from Doctor Who. She is one of the two mothers from Downton Abbey.
Oh, that's right.
She was married again to Bill Nye in Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. She was in Pride and Prejudice and The Borrowers. This woman has a marathon career. So Dame Penelope Wilton played Barbara, the mother, in this.
Anytime she talked, I just kept hearing Harriet Jones.
Yeah. If you haven't seen her episodes in Doctor Who, there's a reason why she's an icon in that fandom. She did an amazing job. So, Trevor, if people wanted to know more about Penelope Wilton, where could they write to us to find out about that?
Well, we're on Instagram and Blue Sky as @BigFatGayPod. Leave us 5 stars or a review on Facebook or your preferred podcast platform. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. See the articles we talked about at www.bigfatgaypod.com. Baby, maybe you're a zombie and you're still listening to the podcast because it's all you can do. There's over 38 episodes for you to listen to and more to come in December. But you're shambling and listening. You have your earpods in so you can't hear Michael coming up behind you with a cricket bat. So
watch out.